After a night of destructive riots in Belfast and elsewhere in Northern Ireland, the PSNI is preparing for more potential unrest this evening. Extra officers are being deployed in Belfast and public transport services are ending early. Last night, rioters set vehicles and buildings on fire. Several people were forced to leave their homes. Today, a Sudanese man appeared in court charged with attempted murder for the brutal knife attack on Monday that sparked the disorder. The family of the stabbing victim, who called the attack against him devastating and horrific, said unrest was not welcome. They praised the contribution of migrants to Northern Ireland and said the tragedy should not be used to fuel hostility.
Lendrick Street was where some of the worst of the overnight violence happened. Masked youths torched cars, flames spread to homes, families were led to safety. It's where the impact, physical and psychological, was most keenly felt.
I have my kids in that house, and I'm living with them in that house until now. But seeing this, yesterday I was devastated, horrified. I didn't know what to do. What can I do to protect my children?
The violence happened in pockets of the city, but where it occurred, it was intense, to the bewilderment of many. In East Belfast, a glider bus was hijacked and burned. The public transport company has shut down bus and rail services across Northern Ireland for the rest of the evening. People are concerned about the rioting and what they say fueled it.
It doesn't look like there was any demonstration. Looks like there were people with balaclavas on their heads. And I don't know if any of them actually thought where it can go, how far it can go, you know?
Anger, frightened, and it's just, as I say, it's been building up for a long time because the politicians don't seem to be listening to the people in working class areas.
The troublemakers didn't get things all their own way. Here, a masked youth carrying a golf club is confronted before retreating.
If it's your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, people in your sports clubs, neighbours that you think were out last night, stop them from coming out today. This has got to stop. We cannot have a society that allows this to happen.
The family of the man injured in the stabbing have also sought to calm tensions. In a statement, they said they'd been completely devastated by the injuries he'd sustained, including losing an eye. Praising those who'd intervened to help, they said, "Your quick actions absolutely saved his life, and we will never forget what you did for him in that moment." They said overnight unrest was not welcome and peaceful protest was the only way forward. And they said they did not want this terrible tragedy to be used to divide people or fuel hostility. Last night, smoke from the disorder wreathed the city. The hope is these scenes will not be repeated. Conor McCauley, RTE News, Belfast.
A 30-year-old man has appeared in court charged with attempted murder linked to the stabbing in North Belfast on Monday. Hadi Alodid, a Sudanese national with an address at Duncairn Avenue in Belfast, was refused bail.
It was here at Kinarge Avenue in North Belfast that a man in his 40s suffered serious injuries following a stabbing on Monday night. The victim lost his left eye, suffered damage to his right eye, and sustained lacerations to his face and back. He remains in a serious condition. This morning, Hadi Alodid, with an address at Duncairn Avenue in Belfast, appeared by video link before Belfast Magistrates Court. The 30-year-old is charged with attempted murder, possession of a knife, and making threats to kill a hospital radiographer. The court heard that Hadi Alodid refused legal representation. The charges were put to him through an interpreter, but he made no reply. The court heard that police were strongly opposing bail. A detective inspector told the court that it was an extremely serious offence which attracted huge media attention and had led to public disorder. She believed granting bail could lead to the risk of further serious disorder. The court was also told that the accused had no family ties in Northern Ireland, was not in employment, and that the police feared he could seek to flee. Ali Al-Odid was refused bail. He was remanded in custody and is due to appear in court again in 4 weeks. Judge Stephen Keown praised the police and members of the public who came to the aid of the man who had been attacked. Judge Keown noted calls for further protests, which included calls to violent action. He said anyone engaged in violence should get the clear message that the courts would not tolerate such behaviour and that they should expect to go to jail. Shane O'Curran, RTE News, Belfast Magistrates Court.
In Britain, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has vowed to crack down on anyone who is fueling this division, amid criticism of Elon Musk and social media's role in the night of violence in Belfast. Here at home, Taoiseach Micheál Martin said events of the last few days have filled us with horror.
Two themes in the Commons today. The first, the role of social media in the disturbances.
Extremists who exploit that grief and anger to spread hatred and violence, aided and abetted by social media barons like Elon Musk and their divisive algorithms.
Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we will crack down on anyone who's fueling this division. But it is really important, and I agree with him, we are heading into a very difficult situation in Northern Ireland.
People have a right to be angry. I am angry. And people have the right to expect their politicians to secure our borders. But no one has a right to burn families out of their homes or to burn public property and attack the police.
The second theme, taken up in the press, the role of the common travel area between the UK and Ireland.
The Prime Minister knows that the man charged entered our country illegally and that he protects and closes the open, porous border between our country and the Irish Republic.
In the Dáil, the disturbances were also condemned.
The organised mobs, and this was organised, who burned families out of their homes, who terrified children. These are the same people, by the way, who in July will burn Irish tricolours on the top of their bonfires. They need to be faced down.
Later, the Taoiseach defended the common travel area.
The common travel area works for citizens in the United Kingdom and for Irish citizens. It's a benefit. Others may abuse the common travel area, and it's primarily a framework for citizens. So there are issues both ways that we can only really address by proper engagement between the two governments, and in particular between the Home Secretary and the Minister for Justice.
It's a difficult moment for both governments. Sean Whelan, RTE News, London.
Well, let's go to Belfast now and speak to our northern correspondent, Conor McCauley. So, Conor, what is the situation there this evening?
Well, at the moment, Sharon, the situation seems relatively calm. We are aware there are a number of protests happening in various places across Northern Ireland, but by all accounts, the numbers are slightly smaller than they would have been last night, and there's certainly no indication of any trouble just yet. Belfast, it has to be said, has completely emptied out. One of the main streets is just over my shoulder there, and it's effectively devoid of traffic. A lot of shops and offices and businesses closed early to let their staff go home. Public transport has also been cancelled until tomorrow. There have, of course, been further appeals for calm, not least from the family of the victim of the stabbing, which sparked all of this, and the authorities will be hoping that that may have some impact. The police, it has to be said, have also moved quite quickly to get some of those who were allegedly involved in some of the trouble last night into court. 2 men appeared in Belfast Magistrates Court this afternoon charged with riot, and both of them have actually been remanded into custody. And again, I think the authorities will hope that that sends a very strong message to those who may yet be intent on trouble. Final thing to say is police have told us in the last little while that there are some images circulating online which purport to be images of the victim after the stabbing attack. Now, what the police have said about those images is that they are not real images, they are fake images, and they are being circulated with the deliberate intention of trying to stoke further tension.
Northern correspondent Conor McCauley, thank you.
The Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, is to speak to Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Hilary Benn, about the unrest in Belfast. Well, our political correspondent, Barry Lenihan, joins me now. And Barry, what more has the government been saying in reaction to events in Belfast and indeed to what's being said in the House of Commons today?
And indeed, Hilary Benn says he has questions of concern for the Irish authorities after it emerged the alleged suspect in Monday night's attack travelled from Paris to Dublin and by bus from Dublin to Belfast. Now, Mr O'Callaghan and Mr Benn due to speak, still waiting to see what comes out of that. Hilary Benn has already spoken last night to the Foreign Affairs Minister, Helen McEntee, but questions too, as we heard in Sean Whelan's report, around the common travel area off the back of those comments in the House of Commons from Gavin Robinson, the Taoiseach Micheál Martin, reiterating today that engagement between the Irish and British governments important when maintaining the common travel area. And the Department of Justice, a spokesperson for Jim O'Callaghan, out this evening noting how at the Irish-British summit in March there were further steps taken to secure the border on the island of Ireland, the invisible border, including stepping up the sharing of data on immigration between Ireland and Britain. But all this comes at a potentially sensitive time for the coalition, with the implementation of the EU Migration Pact on Friday, and the Sinn Féin Justice spokesperson Matt Carthy saying this evening, reiterating his call for a bilateral returns arrangement on immigration between Ireland and Britain. Now, separately worth noting as well, a small protest on the issue of immigration here this evening. It went from O'Connell Street to Leinster House and caused a small level of disruption in the city centre.
Barry Lennon at Leinster House, thank you.